Let's have a little chat. So, the bubble burst already. Well, not really. But I heard about the news about Sora, ChatGPT's little like AI video generator. I'm not surprised. Honestly, I just thought this would happen sooner. I don't know. But yeah, don't be surprised to even more AI projects start like disappearing because also a little bit earlier, Microsoft said that they're cutting back on Copilot. Hmm. Yeah. So, here's the thing. Not only do most of us not give two shits about AI, and in fact, actively do not want it, but AI is also incredibly expensive to run. Like, have you seen the amount of resources they need to keep a AI data center active? And to anyone who says, oh, it's not that much, the numbers are so overblown. No, they are not. Anyway, but yeah, AI takes significantly more resources to run than any other kind of like server farm or data center. There's just no real reason you would use AI over like anything we'd had before. As far as we know right now, AI just doesn't have any practical use. There have been some experiments with it to try and make it useful for actual like sciency things like there's research to try and like use AI to detect forms of cancer. That's cool, but it's still not like it's not a thing yet. Like it's not tested. So for all we know, it could be completely ineffective. And we know AI makes mistakes. God, do we know AI makes mistakes? So no, I'm not surprised. I think what we're about to see when this AI bubble bursts, there will be some forms of AI that stay. Like, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. AI is like a thing now. It's fucking everywhere. And even if a company doesn't have AI, like even if a company shuts down their AI programs, people will still run local models, which, granted, won't be as powerful, but they will still be used for some things. I've been thinking, by the way, this whole thing with AI, with like companies like essentially giving each other money to try to prop up their AI, like in order to try to to like to try and make it look better than it is. This is kind of just a microcosm of like the stage of capitalism we're in right now, where because companies have essentially done everything they could that was practical, as in like actually making products or doing actual services, like they've done all of that. Now they're trying to do other stuff to keep the line going up, try to raise their revenue. They're like, look, we have this AI chatbot that generates images and like can make hyper like photorealistic videos. Look, and then they try to like sell subscription models of that. It's a kind of thing where it's like, who wanted this, right? Like when if you really think about it, who was it for, right? And let's take it a step further than that. That thing Sony's been trying to develop with like AI being able to play video games. Can I ask everyone here in chat something? Who wants that? Genuinely asking, who here in chat would actually want an AI to play their video games for them? Like, think about how insane that sounds. But that is something they are pushing for. And you dumbass, it's these fucking roads every time. I'm getting so fucking tired of this. I gotta stop driving on these roads. What was I saying? Anyway, but yeah, I've been thinking this whole thing with AI is just a microcosm of late stage capitalism because now that companies have like already provided people with like goods and services that are actually like tangible, they're trying to find other ways to increase their profits because that is the goal of capitalism. The goal of capitalism is to seek ever increasing profits. It, but like, what do you do when you already have all the money in the world? Really think about this. Money inherently is a limited resource, just like everything is a limited resource. You can't print more money because that just deflates you get the point. You can't just print more money because that devalues the value of a dollar in the first place. So like, what do you do when your company is already the most profitable it can be? Well, that's what we're seeing right now. They cut corners. They cut costs. It's all in the name of more profits. But the result of that is now less people are buying your product. And what happens when they get less money from buying that product? Well, they gotta cut corners again. They gotta raise their prices because now they're not making as much money as they used to. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, so yeah, eventually, after trying all of this to increase your profit more, you reach a point where people wake up, they think, why am I still buying this product? It's so bad now. Why spend my money on it? So now you gotta try and make it free. And you gotta pay for it other ways just so people still use it. So that you can still... Come on! Fucking prick. Why the fuck do I still drive on these roads? Anyway... So, eventually, when your company is like out of options and they have no other way to increase revenue, by that point you've already alienated so many customers that even if you did just go back to how you did things, you're still not going to make the same profit you did because now less people are even willing to buy your product in the first place. And that's what we're seeing now. There's so many companies who just they want more and more profit and they just can't get it. Because now not only have they enshittified their product so much that people don't want it anymore, don't even fucking think about it. So now not only do people not want the product anymore, they can't make it the same way they used to because now the dollar is so inflated. Like 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 the dollar just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. So what we're seeing now is AI. It's this thing that promises to revolutionize the way we think about things. It promises to fix all the problems. It promises to take away tedious work so that we can do things better. And it just doesn't. It's fucking vaporware. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything actually useful. And yeah, it has some very niche cases of use, but even those aren't very good. It's that kind of thing that if it were not for being subsidized, it just wouldn't exist. Like, it's so unprofitable. And as we're seeing, there's a lot of cases now where people buy like a Windows computer, they get Windows 11, and they're like, oh, this is dog shit. And so they look into something else. They like weigh their options. They try Linux or they try Mac, and they're like, oh shit, no wonder people like this. And then they just kind of stick with it. Granted, they still end up having to use Windows because, Windows just has such a stranglehold on the PC market, and not all apps work under like Apple or Linux, but they still just don't use Windows as much as they used to. And what we're seeing now is companies pulling back because they're slowly realizing that they just cannot stretch this anymore. The AI bubble is bursting. Tech is just not where it used to be. People are seeing that. People aren't buying computers like they used to. So, like, the end result of all of this is just things are shittier, they're more expensive. AI did not, in fact, fix any of these problems. In fact, AI made it worse in a lot of ways. So, like companies are pulling out now. This whole thing with Sora is basically ChatGPT declaring defeat. They hyped this shit up so much, and now it's just being shut down. Yeah, like that's it. I'm not an expert on this by any means. I'm just someone who plays games. But, like, I do think we are about to see the bubble start to burst. What the hell? What the hell is wrong with these NPCs? Anyway, as I was saying, I think we're about to finally see the bubble start to burst. Hold on a fucking second. Anyway, sorry, really annoyed. Um, as I was saying though, I think we're finally starting to see the bubble burst. Microsoft is pushing Copilot less. ChatGPT is about to shut down Sora. It seems like, by the way, anytime a price increase happens on any of these AI services, any of the like 10% of users who actually bought a subscription just kind of like dip. People won't use AI if it's not free, which I think is incredibly telling. But the thing is, companies can't make it free because it's already barely profitable, if at all. And people like you and me have made it incredibly clear that we just do not want AI. And no matter what these companies do, people are not convinced that they even want it. And we're finally starting to see it all unravel. So here's my advice for anyone who's feeling like overwhelmed by everything happening in terms of AI. Sit back, keep speaking, keep speaking up, keep talking about it, and just point and laugh. Because we all know that this whole thing is held up by tech illiterate morons who just, you know, at the end of the day, they're all fucking sad and miserable people, right? Like Sam Altman, he's not just a piece of shit. Before ChatGPT, he was a fucking nobody. Like, he was a fucking loser, and he still is. At the end of the day, he's not willing to actually provide a genuine service. Microsoft, their fucking CEO, is also a piece of shit. Copilot doesn't do anything useful. You know it. I know it. Now the world knows it. And nothing these companies can do outside of actually just making things actually for people. Like unless Microsoft goes back to making a proper operating system that just works, like anything they do outside of that is just not going to win their customers back. So yeah, just sit back, point and laugh, and don't let these companies gaslight you. AI was never going to take off. The writing was on the wall from the beginning. It's all just vaporware bullshit. And I think we're finally starting to see it come apart at the seams. And I'm glad it is. Like I said, I'm not an expert on any of this. I can't tell you what's going to happen. But I'll say this. Buckle up. Shit's about to get a lot worse before it gets better. But I do think it will get better. And when that bubble bursts, I think the first thing I'm going to do is start saving up for a steam machine. That's it for now. I'm out.